The Shin estate was buzzing with music and smells, a real party atmosphere. Drums and flutes filled the air, and incense and peach blossoms made everything smell sweet. Red banners waved in the wind, and lanterns shone like tiny stars. From the outside, it looked like a big celebration, a wedding that should have been happy. But if you looked closer, you could hear people whispering mean things, like a quiet shadow over the whole scene. It was supposed to be a joyful occasion, but underneath all the festivities, there were hints of dislike and discontent that spread through the crowd like ripples on a pond. The whole thing felt kind of off, like a beautiful mask hiding some ugly truths. Lin Yao, eldest son of the Lin family, stood rigid in ceremonial robes of crimson and gold. His face was handsome, his bearing proud, but his eyes were cold as he glanced at the figure beside him, the one he was to marry. That figure was Shun Qingqiu, a GR. In this world, there existed a third gender, known as the Ger, who possessed the unique ability to bear children. However, instead of being revered, they were met with disdain and prejudice. The Ger were viewed as inferior, seen as neither fully male nor female, and were often perceived as a burden to their families. As a result, they were frequently used as pawns in strategic marriages to forge alliances, but were rarely considered desirable partners. In fact, marrying a Ger was seen as a shameful act, a humiliation for men of noble birth, and a reflection of their lowered status. This societal stigma led to the Ger being marginalized and undervalued, their worth determined by their ability to secure advantageous marriages rather than their inherent value as individuals. Lin Yao's parents had forced this union upon him. The Shun family, though wealthy, had no sons to carry on their name. They had offered their Ger child as a husband, and the Lin family, desperate for political favor, had agreed. Thus, Lin Yao was to become a matrilocal husband, living under his Ger spouse's roof, stripped of authority and pride. The guests whispered openly. Lin Yao, the proud heir, reduced to marrying a Ger, to live in his husband's household. How disgraceful. Lin Yao heard every word, and his heart burned with resentment. He had dreamed of marrying a noblewoman, strengthening his family's power. Instead, he was shackled to a Ger, a person society deemed lesser. Shun Qingqiu, however, did not flinch under the weight of scorn. He wore pale blue robes embroidered with plum blossoms, his long hair tied back with a jade clasp. His face was serene, almost too calm, as though he had long accepted the disdain of others. His bow to Lin Yao was graceful, his smile faint but dignified. The wedding rites proceeded. Cups of wine were exchanged, bows performed, vows spoken. Lin Yao's movements were stiff, his voice cold. He barely looked at Shun Qingqiu, refusing to acknowledge the gentle touch of his hand. When the final rites ended, the guests dispersed, leaving behind only the echo of their whispers. Lin Yao was led to the bridal chamber, his heart heavy with bitterness. The room was still, the only light coming from the gentle flicker of candles. Shun Qingqiu was seated at the edge of the bed, his back straight and his face a mask. He spoke in a low, even tone, his words calm and soothing. You don't have to go through with it tonight. I know you didn't want this marriage in the first place. Lin Yao's face twisted in anger. He felt like yelling at the world for trapping him. But before he could say a word, everything started spinning around him. His eyes got blurry, his chest felt tight, and it was like he was being sucked into a huge empty space that never ended. He felt himself being pulled away, like he was losing control, and his head was spinning with a weird, dizzy feeling. Suddenly, he was somewhere else, and he had no idea how he got there, or what was happening to him. When he opened his eyes again, he was no longer the same Lin Yao. Memories came rushing back to him. Memories of a different time and place, a life he once knew. Listen to the full story on channel blstories land.